California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse.
Greg Gutfeld just ripped Gavin Newsom's polished persona to shreds, leaving nothing but smoke, swagger, and a frozen smirk. In a takedown so savage it shook liberal circles, Gutfeld tore into Newsom's hypocrisy, mocked his shiny policies, and exposed him as a governor caught flat-footed in the firestorm of a primetime monologue. This wasn't comedy, it was a demolition job. Newsom never saw it coming. Welcome to Gutfeld, fully unchained.
So Newsom is fed up with tent cities, the crime, the urban decay? No, he's not mad about that stuff. He's mad you noticed. It's like a criminal telling a jury he's sorry he robbed 25 banks when he's just sorry he got caught on the 26th. Because this isn't some spontaneous crisis. It's a man-made disaster like Chernobyl or Fox and Friends. And
it started like any other evening on Gutfeld's stage, bright lights, coffee mug in hand, and that sly grin sharpened like a blade. But this wasn't routine banter. Tonight, Gutfeld came locked and loaded. His target? California's glossy golden boy, Gavin Newsom, the man whose hair campaigns harder than he does, strutting through press events like each podium was a runway for a magazine cover.
Took common sense as his high ground.
Right.
There's no place outside of it.
That's right.
And so they're stuck in this horrible, horrible place, much like you, Jamie, and your life. As California falls apart, it must remind you somewhat of your own personal life.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at footage of California and I go, oh, look how much better it is than my life.
If this takedown has your attention, smash subscribe, because front and center in Gutfeld's sight stood the ultimate billboard of progressive perfection. Or at least that's the role Newsom loves to play. Behind the polished exterior, though, sits a mountain of failures piled sky high. And Gutfeld didn't just list them, he tore them apart. With the precision of a late-night host done tolerating phony theatrics, he shredded Newsom's act like a discarded Hollywood draft, flashy, hollow, and begging for a rewrite. Newsom's golden boy status? Built on borrowed glow.
Why do I keep bringing up Gavin? Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it. Then people actually came.
He flashes a grin straight from a toothpaste commercial, drops buzzwords like a TED speaker, and parades California as if it's a paradise sculpted by his hands. But beyond the staged speeches and glittering banquets, reality has collapsed into chaos. And Gutfeld wasn't letting the fantasy slide. From the moment he walked out, the mood shifted. No warm-up, no safety net. Just a brutal wave of truth sharp enough to slice through Newsom's carefully guarded facade.
You conflate order with authoritarianism, you get chaos and destruction. So if restoring order is evil, then the Dems are now the party of disorder. Turns out the only system they had was wokeism, and it rotted any basic principles the party had to begin with. Which is why, like Gavin himself, they're left looking at 2028's hopes going up in flames. And this time, no one is going to help them put it out.
Gutfeld began by stripping away the shiny veneer, exposing the rot beneath California's surface. The so-called model Newsom parades now looks like a state sinking under its own failures. Streets turned into endless tent cities while taxes soared so high Elon Musk sprouted wings and bolted to Texas. On crime, Gutfeld didn't need exaggeration, the reality was damning enough. Smash and grabs shattered storefronts, carjackings rivaled Uber rides. Yet Newsom clung to his golden fairy tale.
The problem is his track record, his performance as mayor, as lieutenant governor, and governor. And your analogies are great. I think mine are better. And just hold on. And here's why. He shows up at the fires and says, who the hell caused this? I'm going to crack down on the people responsible. He sees the homeless encampments blocking the sidewalks and said, you guys clean that up. He started it. spend $3 billion to fix it. And his opening words in 2020 when it got the job is a disgrace. The richest state in the country and the richest nation of the world has a homeless problem. I will fix it. He spends $1 billion. When it's not fixed, he blames the mayors, and he also forced the movie industry and Silicon Valley out of the best state in the country by high taxes. I've never seen someone with such a bad performance, but yet I think he's the front runner to get the nomination for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They got nobody else. Sherrod, welcome back.
Even then, Newsom lectured the nation, posturing as America's moral compass. That's when Gutfeld cranked up the heat. This wasn't just hypocrisy, it was stagecraft. Newsom was the overpaid actor stumbling through his own lines. A governor wagging at Florida over book bans while his students can't read at grade level. Condemning Texas abortion laws while his own streets drowned in fentanyl and despair. The irony was so sharp the crowd could feel it, laughter rising as Gutfeld sliced deeper with sarcasm sharper than fury.
So last week, Newsom said he hopes the conservative Supreme Court will overturn the current law that bans his state from removing out-of-control homeless encampments. Imagine that. Well, what did you expect, Gavin? That the sanctuary seekers were going to show up in Winnebagos? Once again, another example of a high-profile lib using his big mouth to write a check his ass can't cash. Last year, after the Texas Governor Abbott ordered that parents of transitioning children should face criminal investigation, Newsom then tweeted this: "Trans kids and their families should be celebrated, not targeted by the state. They are heroes." And so to fearful families in Texas right now, California's door is always open to you.
With that signature grin, Gutfeld painted a ruthless picture. California's middle class vanishing faster than desert rain. Small businesses closing forever while elites toasted champagne behind their gates. And there was Gavin, hair perfect, smile flawless, posing as if hardship was just set dressing for his next ad. Gutfeld wasn't hunting laughs, he was delivering truth. Newsom wasn't leading. He was driving families out, businesses fleeing in desperation, and lifelong residents wondering, how did California collapse this far?
What do you think about Gavin Newsom? What's going on there?
I don't know. I don't know how they bump out Kamala. It'd be put a white male in there and take her out. She's got too much of an ego to just step aside. She's going to go crazy if they try to do that.
Plus, she had a strong 2% support, so don't forget that.
Yeah, but she's waiting for that spot to just open for her, and then you put a white male in there.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't know how they're going to put. I mean, they did it to Bernie. They threw him under the bus two, presidential ones in a row. They just gave him a couple extra houses in Vermont. Go, yeah, you got some extra money. But I don't know how they could do it with her.
It'd be great if they threw her under the bus, because she really likes buses, remember?
Unstoppable, Gutfeld aimed directly at the man steering California's sinking ship. It was like watching an illusion unravel in reverse. Every boast Newsom had built fell apart. Economic growth? Smoke and mirrors. Climate leadership? Flashy stunts in solar wrapping. Compassion? A performance lasting only as long as cameras rolled. Then came the hammer strike. He compared Newsom's California to a mansion gleaming outside but reeking inside, mold, cracks, rot hidden beneath glossy slogans. A disaster gift wrapped in progress. The crowd gasped, then laughed, not at exaggeration, but at the naked truth revealed.
Californians used to sell maps of celebrity homes, not landmines. Now instead of sightseeing, tourists play hopscotch so their shoes don't get hepatitis. And when residents complain, they're called cruel. And now we're supposed to believe Gavin? Hell no. All the problems of the last decade were based on his and his party's lies.
The crowd's laughter wasn't for jokes, it was recognition. No exaggeration needed, just perfect delivery. And Gutfeld carved it with surgical precision. Meanwhile, Gavin, lounging in luxury or strutting at velvet podiums, likely thought no late-night comic could touch him. Wrong. Dead wrong. Gutfeld didn't just dent the armor, he cracked it wide open. This wasn't debate, it was demolition. And from the rubble came something darker, rumors of presidential ambition. The chilling warning, if California was the experiment, then America was next.
Then came the national polling by overwhelming majorities. It turns out Americans don't favor minors transitioning. So last week, when a California law was proposed that judges in custody cases favor the parent who supports transitioning a child's new gender, Newsom killed that law quicker than a late-term abortion. Yeah, I know, huh? Now the left, being the left, was outraged, but they missed something, because now Newsom says he only vetoed it since it's already the law.
Gutfeld refused to let up. He ended with his signature smirk, a slow sip, and a glance that said, "We see you, Gavin." No amount of gel could disguise the disaster. What made it legendary wasn't just the laughs, it was the sting of truth. No theatrics, no shouting, just razor wit cutting through the myth of Gavin Newsom. He led viewers straight to San Francisco's wasteland, where billionaires sidestep human waste and businesses close from collapsing law and order. The verdict was clear: California isn't a model. It's a warning in neon.
It ponders why Dems lost.
We lost. We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. And we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of issues with Israel? Was it all of the above? I think we are going through that forensic. We need to understand at the same time, we also have to push back against the whitewaters and headwinds of the Trump.
Gutfeld zeroed in on hypocrisy with sniper precision. Newsom enforced lockdowns, shuttered schools, and masked ordinary people, while dining maskless at French Laundry with elites. Gutfeld didn't need rage, he leaned on absurdity, letting laughter highlight the injustice. The punchline stung because they were undeniable truths everyone knew but few said aloud. Then came the exodus, families fleeing in droves for freer states. Beneath the humor was sobering reality, migration born of failed leadership. The brilliance? Gutfeld peeled away Newsom's mask with ease, exposing the hollow man beneath.
Voters. He's the classic wolf in sheep's hair gel. Just watch him answer the tough questions.
Any other questions here?
Yes, California has a terrible homeless problem. Why do you think that is?
I appreciate that question. And I think it's a matter of perspective. Let's kind of flip the script on that, okay? Let's kind of put a new lens on that. I mean, you see a homeless man. I see an outdoorsman. We got a lot of natural habitat in this state, and I'm just so proud that so many people in California can take advantage of that. All right?
He painted a man who lives for cameras, who scolds states with rehearsed outrage, who builds his brand from polished vanity. Gavin Newsom, the mannequin politician, smooth and stylish, but spineless when reality bites. Gutfeld hammered the whispers of presidential ambition, the absurdity of selling America the same collapse Californians endure. It was comedy sharpened by truth, every pause and smirk landing like a cut. This wasn't leadership. It was branding, and that brand was rotting. Gutfeld didn't yell or rage. He let reality do the smashing. That night, it wasn't just a win. It was annihilation. A freight train of truth leveling Newsom's facade. And somewhere in California, Gavin is still reeling, hit not by politics, not partisanship, but by reality itself.